Llama traffic, my friends. Llama coming. Get your camera ready.
Did you mama llama?
All right, we hear it. We hear it.
Aww.
Boy, what a good job they had. Wander around here.
Well, maybe more, but according to the leaders we have more people. When we talk about Incas, leaders, they have confidence away from the capital.
And we're gonna have a picture, right?
People from the large over here. We understood that.
The boss, my friends, they are like an iceberg. Yes? The pre-Incas are below the sea, and the Incas are only gonna be the tip of the iceberg. We have a huge history behind the one that the Incas gathered and improved. This is one of the samples. Those were Incan laboratories. Yes, you see, like Alejandro, they are terraces. Yes, they are terraces, but working as a laboratories. How the people success here in the Andes? They success because they knew how to save for the future, and they knew how to survive in these conditions. My friends, a little bit because a group is passing by. This way over here. There you go. What you see, don't get that, papa. It's my colleague, my friend, my brother from another mother. Beautiful. All right. So now we're going back to our original position again. Yes, there you go. And these terraces, my friends, are working because the Incas, they know how to survive for the future. Yes, how to save for the future, and how to adapt to the environment. First of all, it's difficult to live in a place when you don't have too much flat areas for planting, yes, plantation. That's why this technology of making terraces, it's really good. You're gonna use the side of the mountain, building terraces, you're avoiding the erosion, the natural erosion of water. When rain is coming, everything might turn into a huge landslide. So that's why the terraces are slowing down the way down of the water, so this is standing. You know how long are they here? The scholars are guessing that these terraces have been built in 1300s approximately, my friends. Yes, and they are standing without any maintenance nowadays. How come? The Incas excavate all the way to the bedrock in order to build the terraces. The bedrock, you know, it's over there, and then the rocks on top. Then they fill up each terrace with big rocks, small rocks, pebbles, sand, and then the proper ground. So they have a nice filtration without damaging the foundation, so everything's gonna be just by filtration naturally without damaging the structures. That's why they are standing with it nowadays, right? Now, how they are working, my friends? During the day, they are absorbing the radiation. The walls that they are made out of stone, they are getting warm, in other words. And during the night, they're gonna spread it back so the plants are gonna be growing nicely. But the most important, laboratories. Imagine that we're gonna have a corn plant that is growing perfectly by the bottom of the valley. Yes? But when you try to plant it up here, the plant is gonna die because up here it's much cooler. We have too much wind. Yes? So you need to adapt that thing. How are you gonna do it? You're gonna have a seed coming from the bottom of the valley, and you're gonna plant in the bottom of these terraces. It's gonna grow. It's gonna have the corn and the seed. You're gonna dry it, and you're gonna plant one level up next year. All right? And so like that, you're gonna reach all the way to the top. And it's how you adapt the seed in order to grow in a higher elevation. Because little by little, you were changing the conditions, and the plants are getting better on that conditions, right? So that's why the Incas adapted the corn, the quinoa, the potatoes, and that's why we have a lot of varieties. How many varieties do we have of potatoes, Leo?
3,000.
More than 3,000, isn't it? Yes, we have a lot of them because they needed to adapt it to different elevations. Also in order to resist different kind of diseases, different kind of bacteria that they are attacking them. Corn. We have a lot of corn also. How many varieties of corn, Leo? This is your test.
What you say, sorry?
How many varieties of corn?
250.
Oh, 250. Look at this. How many varieties of quinoa?
185.
186. I found last year. But
Did you? Okay.
we're giving you just average numbers, my friends. But actually, my friends, yes, we have this big variety because they need to know how to survive. And using this technique of terraces, it was the best for them. Now, let me tell you. Over there, we have a neighborhood. Can you see this bunch of houses over there? They were in charge of the terraces going over there. This neighborhood around, they were in charge of these terraces down here. And what about the people who were on that area? Do you see some more structures over there? This is called Calle Casa. No worries, you don't have to remember. Yes? But that was the administration area. How do we know? Because there is a nice wall, if you notice, it's a wall separating the administration area from the popular area, right? Let's see. Kind of rich people, but in the Incas, the word rich doesn't really work because the Incas didn't have a currency. The Incas didn't have something that is gonna make them feel powerful, like gold and silver either. They were having it, but they didn't wear it. They were making little images in order to worship the divinities. So they didn't really use it, my friends. The ones who were rich is the ones who is having more food. The farmers were the rich people. Yes, they were the ones who were measuring the nature, my friends. How do you mean, Alejandro? What you trying to say? Okay, John, what day is today? 17 month. February. Yes. What time is it? 10 o'clock. Isn't it? Now, we know because we have these devices. Yes? We have this device. Yes? But at that time, how do we know? How do we know what part of the year we are? They need to know calendar, observation. That's why the houses of the Incas, they were up in the mountains because they were observing the sun and the stars during the year in order to know exactly what astrology. Of course, isn't it? So at that time they didn't have the technology that we have, but they were having the other technology to observe it. So it's how they know. That's why they need to have these administration people, the ones who are going to be in charge of doing these other things. All right? So we were going to have temples over there. We're going to have the administrators who are going to be living in order to take care of all this area that is called Pisac. What Pisac means, my friend? Pisac is the proper name of a bird that flies all around this area, by the way, just to let you know.
Oh, I want to see it. You see it?
Yeah.
Point it out.
Nowadays, it's kind of hard, but if I see it, I'm gonna point it out for you. Okay? Very good. Because you know, like Leo, they were catching these birds and having a nice chicken. Always blaming on Leo. No. Very good. Now, here
Raising canes.
is where they found the largest cemeteries. Alright? Cemeteries. The Incas, my friends, they were burying their people because they believe in the afterlife. The world is separated in three levels. The upper world is where the divinities are. This world is where we are when you are alive. Us, the animals and the plants. But then when you pass away, you're gonna be mummified and buried. That's your entrance to go to the afterworld. And it's no reincarnation, my friends. You go with all your experience, right? For example, what do you do back home, Noel?
I do a little tour guiding.
A tour guiding. There you go. So Noel, next life is gonna be a tour guiding also. So you're gonna need the items that you were using, maybe books, maybe you whisper, maybe something that you use for the next life. So that's why they mummified you and they put the items that you were using with you to continue using it on the next life. That is what I'm gonna show you in our next step, all right? So we're gonna go over there.
That means you never come back on.
heard it. I think we can take these.
Oh, you found a nice rock over there, Edith. Beautiful. There is Ingrid is coming also. Muy bien. And the señoritas.
What? Huh?
I wanted to get a picture of him. Did you get
No.
one?
Well, just do the video a little bit. Thank you. No, thank you. Koi, koi, koi. Koi, koi, koi.